NBA accreditation. If you want to increase the number of seats from say 60 to 120 in your computer science engineering branch. Now you know computer science is very hot, and you essentially the facilities, you don't need so much of infrastructure. You can mainly the software, and you can manage with the only you probably need to augment your faculty, or you want to increase your MBA intake say from 60 to 120, or you want to increase your computer science BTech from 60 to 120. It will not, the AICTE portal will not allow you unless you are NBA accredited. So NBA accreditation is tied to increase in intake of seats by AICTE. NBA accreditation is tied to the introduction of new postgraduate programs in that respective department. You cannot escape. So it is absolutely necessary, whether you are a part of, you directly regulated by UGC or indirectly regulated by UGC, or you are regulated, you have AICTE as a statutory body, you are forced to go for that. In fact, there is a legislation that is pending, and I was told by none other than Dr. Anil Sahasrabudhe, the chairman of AICTE, that AICTE proposes to bring a legislation by which in the next 3 years, 60% of all eligible programs should be NBA accredited. This is a legislation that they are planning to bring about. That means if you are a college running MCA, MBA, BTech, BE and whatnot, 60% of your NBA programs should be NBA accredited. Now this was probably, you add another 1 year because of pandemic. 1 year is like a zero academic year gone. But whatever it is, today it is 2021. By 2024, at least you should have 60% of your program. Maybe it will be 2025. Whatever it is the case, you have to be on a pathway. You have to be on a trajectory to have these programs accredited. You cannot start on one day and get things done. It is not possible. You have to go through that process. So all the more important that as a university, as a college, as an institution, as a university, whatever be your discipline, you have to embark on OBE, outcome-based education. You have to have. Now, more stressing on why OBE, the advantages are also multifarious. The advantages are also immense, and let us see how they are. So I already stressed upon why OBE. I will continue to stress upon why OBE after telling you what is OBE. Now, simply speaking, what is OBE? Outcome-based education means you are providing your graduates, the people who are graduating, your students and the graduates, with higher order capabilities, competencies, skills, attributes and qualities. That is a simple meaning of outcome-based education. You are equipping your graduates, your students, with higher order capabilities, competencies, attributes, skills, and so on. Now, how do you do this? How do you do this? You want to build higher order capabilities in your students, higher order competencies, higher order attributes, higher order skills, making them able to apply the knowledge, making them able to, apply, analyze things, design things, create things. And that is a focus of OBE. Now, how do you do this? It is through a three-pronged approach. You are focusing on your academic system, your curriculum. You are focusing on your teaching learning methodology, the pedagogy, the tools, the methods, and you are focusing on your examination or your evaluation system. So OBE is building higher order capabilities, competencies for your students, How do you do it? You tweak your curriculum. You tweak the academic system. You tweak your teaching learning process, the tools, the methodology, the pedagogy, and you also focus on the examination, the evaluation aspects. OBE will also, in addition to building these higher order skills, attributes, competencies, capabilities, or the nature of OBE is that it will also improve your other skills, your life skills. Because your evaluation has been changed. The methodology of teaching is changed. The teaching learning process, the curriculum, the exercises, the evaluation, the assessment, all that have been modified so as to enable your students to not only get the technical competence, but higher order capabilities, higher order skills, capabilities, competencies, and I can call them life skills. I don't like this word called soft skills. It's not a very good term. I feel life skills is a better thing. And today, employers seem to agree. Employers are not generally so much focused on the persons who are getting the highest grades or the highest CGPA or the rank holders. I'm not saying it's not bad. Rank holders are important. They may be very good, but they need not be the best in terms of the other skills. Employers seem to agree that other skills are more and more important. Other skills means, you know, leadership qualities, organizational capabilities. How do you work in a group? Teamwork, right? Teamwork, interpersonal skills, work ethics, motivation, initiative, flexibility, adaptability, organizational skills. These seem to be more important with respect to what should I say? The soft skills, the life skills. I don't like to call them that. And OBE puts you into that process for getting the same. You are in a process by which your teaching methodology, your academic system, curriculum, your pedagogy, your examination, tailor your students towards building these life skills also. Now, I don't need to tell you about the employability issue in India. Again, I'm stressing upon why OBE. There is a serious concern in India. Employability of graduates are in question. Now, many of you are from engineering colleges or MBA colleges. I'm sure the numbers that are securing very good placement is a very small number. You can ask your own placement cell. They will tell you that there is definitely a problem with respect to the numbers. The numbers are not all that good. What is the problem? NASSCOM estimates that out of the 3 million graduates who are getting into the workforce, this is primarily engineering. Engineering means not only computer science, all branches of engineering who are getting into IT companies, the workforce of IT. It could include MCAs also. Perhaps it could also include MBAs also, I don't know. But NASSCOM estimates that 25% of them are only employable. More than 75% of them are not employable, and the company has to do a lot of retraining, upskilling to make that student or graduate up to speed. So there's a serious problem. There is another study that says that, out of 100 graduates who are coming out, less than 4 of them are ready to get into a startup. Now, if you take Byju's startup, it is run by a Malayali. So I think he got that Manorama Person of the Year award also a few days back. Definitely out of 100 people who get into, who apply to Byju, perhaps only 3 or 4 are getting in, because startup requires a totally different skill set. And out of the 100%, only 3 to 4 are getting into are ready to get into a startup. So there is a serious problem. So OBE is the answer to a large extent, because OBE is trying to build the higher order capabilities, the higher order skills, the higher order competencies, the higher order attributes. And how do you do it? You do it by improving your curriculum, tweaking your curriculum, making it more relevant, more coherent, more activity based. Then you are focusing on your teaching learning process, the methodology, the tools. You are using better tools, you are using better methodology, more activity based learning, more projects, mini projects, exercises, group dynamics, and so on. And finally, the examination. Your evaluation is not simply asking some questions where you are remembering. The students have to address the questions by addressing the question paper, by applying their knowledge, analyzing the problem, designing, creating, synthesizing. That kind of questions are asked in the examination. So these higher order capabilities are coming. Not only the skill set of the student is improving in terms of technical competence or managerial competencies, but their life skills are also improving. The other skills are also improving, which are more preferred by the employers. And how do you do it? The curriculum, the teaching learning process, and the examination or the evaluation system. So I have answered why OBE and how OBE, right? Now, another important, I don't know, can you give me a minute? Just give me a minute. There is some problem in the slide. There is some thing in the slide. You give me a minute. Let me just share it again.
Yes. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Can you, the slide visible now?
Yes, sir. It is visible now. It is visible.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I already told you why OBE, how OBE. Now, OBE results in a feedback loop. There is a continuous bootstrapping, there is a continuous feedback loop in OBE. And the feedback is there throughout the process. Now, if you take a traditional teaching learning process, there are some inputs that are being transformed into output. The output is nothing but your graduate, your student. And the inputs are the faculty, the knowledge, the curriculum, the labs, the equipment, the computers, all that you transform through the teaching learning process, and you get the student. The product is a graduate. But this traditional education process is not advantageous in the sense that there is a constant lack of feedback. In the outcome-based education, in the OBE process, we are able to see a feedback loop everywhere and anywhere. The stakeholder input is taken, whether it is the industry, the employers, the alumni, the students, the faculty, all the stakeholders are giving feedback at multiple intervals. They are giving feedback for the department vision and mission. They are giving feedback for the objectives of the department, the mission of the department. They are giving feedback on the curriculum, on the teaching learning process. They are giving anything and everything. There is a feedback loop created. Teaching process, learning process, evaluation, there is feedback. Mission, there is feedback. Objectives, there is feedback. So there is a continuous feedback loop in this OBE process. And that helps you to be on a trajectory towards continuous quality improvement. There is a feedback loop, whether it is the curriculum, whether it is the teaching learning process, during the teaching learning process, the delivery of the course, there is feedback at the end of the course, the examination, the output, and so on. And there is also a measurement happening. You are having a measurement. You know, statisticians say, you cannot control what you cannot measure. I will repeat. You cannot control what you cannot measure. You are measuring anything. You are measuring the course outcomes, attainment of the course outcome. You are measuring the attainment of the program outcomes. You are able to pinpoint where the problem has happened. If one course outcome has not been attained, why did it not get attained? What is the diagnostic? Was it because the teaching process was not done? Was it because this faculty did not deliver it properly? Was it because the assessment instrument was not effective? So you are having a diagnostics also. There is a feedback loop in every stage from start to finish. In the transformation of all these inputs to the students' output as the graduate, there is feedback at multiple stages. At the examination level, at the teaching learning process, delivery of the course, at the curriculum, at the department vision, everywhere there is a feedback. So that is a major improvement of OBE over the traditional educational process. Now, coming to the second part of my presentation, the building blocks of outcome-based education. I will start with vision, mission, PEO, PO, and stop with the PSO. The course outcomes I will take in the session on Saturday. I'm not going to spend time on COs. So I will focus on the building blocks of OBE, focusing on the vision, mission, PEO, PO, and PSO. Just give me a minute. Come here, Rima. Sure. Let's transfer some water. Okay, now coming to the vision and the mission. So now the question is, who should have a vision and a mission? If you are a university, obviously you may have a vision and a mission. If you are a college, you may have a vision and a mission. But if you are a department, also you need to have a vision and a mission. So a vision and mission are needed at the university level, at the institution or the college level, at the department level. Now, many departments I consult with ask, already the college has a vision. Why should I have a separate vision? Well, the answer is that outcome-based education requires you to map your objectives, your PEOs to your vision and mission. So you need to have a separate vision and mission. As you know, vision is long-term, maybe 6 years to say 15 years. It is your dream. It is what you aspire to be. It is what you want to achieve. It is what you want to benchmark yourself with. It is medium term to short term, 6 to 15 years. A mission is generally short to medium term, maybe 2 to 5 years, 3 to 5 years. So, mission is how you want to attain the vision through the mission. The mission is essentially one step towards the roadmap of the vision. And obviously, I don't need to tell you that your mission should be in alignment with your vision. Vision, long term, 6 to 15 years. Your dream, your benchmark, what you aspire to be in the future. Mission, short term to medium term, 3 to 5 years, 2 to 5 years, whatever. One step towards attaining the vision. So it is the steps towards attaining that dream of yours, that vision of yours. How do you attain that vision? How do you attain that dream? What all do you do to attain that dream? And I need not tell you that the mission should be in alignment with the vision. Not only that, I told you, your college may have a vision and mission. As a department, you need to have a vision and a mission. But your vision and mission of the department should be in alignment with what the college vision and mission. You cannot have a divergent vision and mission. It should be in alignment. Meaning, your mission and mission should be in alignment as a department with the college vision and mission. In some cases, it is highly complicated because, see, I told you, we are a very multi-campus university. At a university level, there are some broad values and broad vision and mission that have been directly, directly given by a chancellor. I told you, Amash, there is a vision. Every college has its own mission and vision. See, if I am part of an engineering college, what will be the engineering college mission? It has to be in alignment with the overall vision. The vision is service to humanity. That is the broad aspect or the vision or the value of the university. So the engineering college vision and mission should be in that alignment. If I am part of a computer science department and I manage an MBA department, my MBA department mission and vision should be in alignment with the university vision and mission. My engineering college, if I am a computer science department faculty, the computer science vision and mission should be in alignment with the engineering college vision and mission. The engineering college vision and mission should be in alignment with the university vision and mission. So that is very important. So both vision and mission are needed for every department, whatever be the department. Department vision and mission should be in alignment with the college vision and mission. College vision and mission should be in alignment with the university vision and mission if there is a university structure. And I told you the vision is long term, medium term to long term. Your dream, your aspiration, what you want to be 6 to 15 years from now. Mission is more actionable, short to medium term, 3 to 5 years. How you attain that vision? What are the activities that take you to see? And every department, for the purpose of outcome-based education, every department must have a vision and mission. Now, how do you formulate this vision and mission? Again, I bring it back to the feedback. The feedback is paramount. Feedback, vision and mission is essentially a consultative process, a bottom-up consultative process involving all the stakeholders. Thank you. Thank you. Just give me a minute.
Please take your time, sir.
Vision and mission is a consultative process, a bottom-up process involving all the stakeholders, brainstorming, discussing, doing an internal SWOT analysis. And then both vision and mission are not written in stone. They are not it is not that both vision and mission cannot change. It has to change. Maybe the periodicity of your vision may not change. Maybe you may rephrase your vision once in 3 years or 5 years or 6 years, but definitely the vision has to change. The vision has to change as per the times. The mission has to change as per the time. Mission is short term to medium term. I told you 3 to 5 years. There is nothing wrong in evaluating or re-evaluating your mission. If it is not possible every year, at least once in 2 years or 3 years. There's nothing wrong in re-evaluating your mission once in 2 or 3 years. Both are dynamic. Both have to consider the situation, consider the feedback that is coming from all the stakeholders, a bottom-up system. Right? Now, I'll just give you this thing. This is an example. So I am only using the slides that have been given by NBA. I have only added my own take to it. But I will give you some time. Just go through this vision and mission. Take a minute and go through this vision and mission. Okay. Now, if you see, I hope you have read through this. If you see this, this vision appears to be pretty good. It's okay. To emerge as one of the nation's finest institutions of technical education through continuous feedback, improvement, monitoring of its programs and resources. As a vision, this appears to be pretty good. But if you read this mission, it's a little, it is a little hollow. This mission looks like a vision. To develop high quality professionals ingrained in ethics, wisdom and creativity for the betterment of society. So I'm not saying it's a very bad mission, but generally speaking, this appears to be more towards a vision. It's not a mission, it is more of a vision. It is too focused on the future. Meaning that, you have to slightly modify it. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not a very good or effective mission. But the vision here is somewhat good. Now, look into a much better vision and a mission statement. I'll give you a minute to please read through this mission and vision statement. Please take a minute and read it. Now, if you read this, now this vision has been much improved. The earlier mission and vision have been combined into this vision, and here it is very good. It's a very good written vision, which talks of being one of the finest institutions of higher learning in technical education, and you are having a sustained focus to develop professionals who are technically competent, ethically and environmentally focused, as well as focused towards service to the society. A very esoteric and noble vision, so as to speak. Now you see this mission. Mission is much better here. So you already have a vision. Your vision is to be one of the top institutions in technical education. You want your graduates to have highly ethical dimension is there. You want them to be societally focused. You want them to be technically competent, environmental sustainability, everything is there. Now, how do you do this? You do it by accomplishing a stimulating environment for students through quality teaching, learning and outreach activity. And you also provide the best facilities, the best faculty and the best industry exposure. So, when you read this vision and mission, it is very clear that this mission is one step towards that dream of yours, that vision of yours. So from these two statements, it is very clear that your mission should not only be aligned to your vision, but also your mission should be one step at a time towards achieving the roadmap of the vision. That coherence you are able to see in these vision and mission statements. So vision is long term, 6 to 15 years. Vision focuses on your dream, your aspiration, your benchmark. Mission is short to medium term, 3 to 5 years. But the mission is aligned to the vision. The mission is actionable statements, actionable things towards attaining that vision. It is one step in the roadmap towards attaining the vision. And again, Every department should have its own vision and mission, but they need to be in alignment with the college vision and mission. So this is what we covered with respect to the vision and mission. This is another good vision and mission statement by another department. You can take a minute to read through it. Again, this is a civil engineering department. This mission is also somewhat okay. I'm not saying it's very, very good, but this mission is also somewhat pretty good in the sense that it is also in alignment with the vision, and it is one step towards achieving the roadmap of the vision. Take a minute and please go through this. Okay, let's move on. Now coming to the PEO, the program educational objectives. In some places they even call PEO as program educational outcomes. It's not correct. It's actually objectives, but some places it's called outcomes also. It doesn't matter. They mean the same. PEO stands for program educational objectives. In some places it is called program educational outcomes. They are both the same. There is no difference. Now, what is the PEO? Obviously, the PEO is like the steps or the mission, how the mission is there, how to, the mission of the department is there. This is the mission of the graduate. The PEO refers to the, that determine the skills, the knowledge and the capabilities of the graduates as soon as they come out of your institution and the first few years after graduation. So the PEO focused on what are the attributes of your graduates, what are they able to attain, what are the knowledge segments that they are adept in, what are the skills that they have imbibed, what are the capabilities that they demonstrate, what are the attributes that they possess immediately after graduation and the first few years after graduation. Again, like the vision and the mission, the PEO also has to be evolved from a process of feedback. Global needs, local needs, both have to pay. Rather, it is a local, not global, but a local objective. Getting the PEO is local, both global and local. There are global inputs, but there are also local inputs, local needs that factor in while you are making a PEO. And the PEO will also be influenced by the vision and the long-term vision, the mission of the institution. Now, I told you that feedback, the feedback for the vision, mission, I told you stakeholder, it again percolates to the PEO or the program educational objectives or outcomes. They are the same. The feedback process continues here also. But I told you in the some time back that every department needs to have a vision and a mission. But in the aspect of the PEO, the program educational objectives, every program needs to have a separate PEO. If you are running a BCA and an MCA program, Bachelor of Computer Applications and a Master of Computer Application, BCA will have a separate PEO, MCA will have a separate PEO. And it is very clear because when a person finishes a BCA, what kind of job does he get? What kind of skills does he possess? What kind of attributes that he has? What are the skill sets that he has developed? That will definitely be different from an MCA. So BCA and MCA, if the same department is running, separate PEO for BCA, separate PEO for MCA. If you are running a BBA and an MBA, a Bachelor of Business Administration and a Master's in Business Administration, Bachelor's in Business Administration will have a separate PEO, Master's in Business Administration will have a separate PEO. They will be both separate. If you are running a Bachelor's in Computer Science Engineering and a Master's, the PEO will be different. Both, every program should have a PEO. The PEO is linked to the mission and the vision, which again comes through a process of feedback where all the stakeholders are involved, whether it is employers, industry, students, alumni, everybody is involved. That percolates down to the PEO. The program educational objectives or outcomes which tell what a graduate will do in the first few years after graduation. Now I will give you some time, take a minute, please go through this PEO that is given by PEO given of a department. Take a minute to read, then I will explain. Now, if you go through this PEO, you can make out it is of an electrical engineering department. They are training students. From the PEO, you are able to figure out the things that you are training your students in such a way that they are able to compete in a global platform. There is no general specialization within the program. It's a broad outlook. You are training your students in such a way that they are easily able to transition to higher education. They are able to communicate effectively. They are able to work in teams, and they are socially and environmentally conscious. These things are the learnings from the PEO. The PEO talks of these things being the major objectives that are coming out of this department. Program educational objectives. They are in a so this is what your graduate will do in the first few years of graduation. Another department PEO. Please go through this. Take a minute. Now, if you read through this PEO, it's a civil engineering department. Here, perhaps the focus is a little more specific. They are from the PEO, you are able to figure out that the department is training students in such a way that they are going into 4 different tracks. One track is very much focused on construction. Another track is focused on public sector. Third track is focused on entrepreneurship. And the last track is focused on higher education. That you can figure out from this PEO. Now, I will give you an example. If you are an IIT Madras MBA, if you are an IIT Madras computer science department, if you are a private university computer science department, definitely the PEO will be different. In an IIT Madras computer science and engineering department, perhaps 60 to 70% of the students are going for MS to America, US. Another 10% are going for higher studies in other places, Europe, India, and other IITs. So 80% of all of them are going for higher studies. 10% are perhaps going towards high-paying jobs. Another maybe 15% are going towards high paying jobs. Another 5% are going towards on startups and entrepreneurship. So just see how the graduates have moved. I'm talking of a computer science department in an IIT Madras. Perhaps 70 to 80% are going for higher studies, 15% are going for jobs, 5% are going for entrepreneurship. This is just an assumption. I'm not perfectly updated, but I believe that is the mix in the computer science department. Maybe other departments it's a little different, but as I understand from my colleagues there, most of them are going for higher studies in US, Stanford, Georgia Tech, Carnegie Mellon University, all the meccas of computer science, they are going. Now, if you take a private university like Amrita or VIT or SRM, the whole thing is flipped. 80% may be going for high paying jobs, 15% may be going for higher studies, maybe US, Europe, Australia, and so on. Maybe 5% are going for entrepreneurship, maybe even lesser. 2 or 3% may be going for entrepreneurship. So a top private university like say VIT, Velur or Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham or SRM University, this is the mix. So obviously the PEO is totally different. When I am training my students for a bachelor's in computer science, I have to focus on where my graduates are going, and my courses, my pedagogy, my teaching, my electives should have that mix. At the same time, some are going for higher studies, so I need to have that orientation also. Now, very interesting, if you take an MBA college, in Coimbatore, we have PhD Institute of Management and our own business school. I take courses there in systems, in the information systems. I take courses here in our MBA program. Now, in PhD Institute, as I understand, majority of the graduates go for entrepreneurship. In our case, Amrita Business School, it's not like that. Maybe very few of them are going for entrepreneurship. Most of them are going for better jobs. They were, some of them have got work experience. They came and they want to upskill and go to a better job. So many of them are freshers. They come and they get a better job. So the PEO of PhD Institute of Management will be different from our. So every department will have a slightly different PEO for that program. As I again mentioned, every program should have a PEO, but from institution to institution, it will vary. And it also depends upon where your graduates are going, where all they are going, where all they are getting employed, and so on and so forth. I've already told you all these things. Now coming to the POs, the program outcomes. The program outcomes are the knowledge, the skill, and the attribute. Here I have taken the example of engineering, but I'll show you an example of business also. Because I have just used the NBA slides. But POs or program outcomes are the knowledge and the skills or the attributes that a graduate will have. Now, NBA, National Board of Accreditation, has defined 12 POs. These POs are fairly comprehensive. They are fairly universal, but actually speaking, NBA has only adopted the graduate attributes from ABET. They have only customized the graduate attributes from ABET. They have used the ABET framework and slightly modified it to suit the Indian context. So it's generally the graduate attributes of ABET only they have used. Now, these are fairly comprehensive, they are fairly universal, and perhaps whatever be your discipline, whether you are MCA, BCA, BBA, BCom, MCom, BE, ME, MSc, BSc, you can use a subset of these attributes, these program outcomes, these graduate attributes. You can use a subset of these. Maybe some of them may or may not be, but I find them to be fairly universal, fairly universal and can be used by anybody across the board, across any discipline. It can be used. That's my general understanding and my feel. Now, let us see the 12 attributes. The 12 graduate attributes of the 12 POs. You start with knowledge. It's not engineering knowledge, any knowledge. You start with knowledge. You have problems. You apply your knowledge to solve into solving problems. You analyze the problem. You investigate the problem, which are generally complicated and complex, and you design alternatives and solutions for these problems. These are the first 4 program outcomes or POs or graduate attributes. Fairly universal. You start with knowledge, you apply knowledge, you analyze the problem, you investigate the problem, understand alternatives, understand solutions, develop and design solutions to solve these problems. First 4 attributes. How do you do it? Use tools. You are using modern tools. You are making solutions that focus on the societal aspect, the ethical aspect, and the environment and the sustainable aspect. So you are focusing on all of these also. These are the next four attributes. I will repeat. I'll go again. You have knowledge. You apply the knowledge. You analyze the problem. You investigate the problem. You design and develop solutions for the problem using tools. But the solution or the alternative that you have designed and developed should consider the ethical dimension, the societal dimension, and the environmental and sustainable dimension. These things have to be also considered. These are the next four graduate attributes or program outcomes, POs. Now you focus. How do you do it again? You focus how you have already used tools. Now you work in teams, you work in groups, you communicate effectively, you manage effectively, you do planning, staffing, or planning, organizing, staffing, leading and controlling, and you solve the problem. And you are always focused on continuous improvement, and that requires lifelong learning. So these are the 12 graduate attributes. In fact, this 12th one, lifelong learning, was only recently added. Earlier there were only 11. Probably for the last 7 to 8 years there are 11. Recently only they added this lifelong learning, because many courses are in that mold, you know, to put you on a trajectory towards lifelong learning. So quickly, if you go through the POs are the program outcomes. The program outcomes focus on the knowledge, skill, attributes, and capabilities of your graduates, and the courses map to these POs. What are the POs? You start with knowledge. You analyze you identify a problem, analyze the problem, investigate the problem, design solutions and alternatives for the problem. However, the solution should consider the ethical dimension. The solution should consider the societal dimension. So the solution should consider the sustainability and environmental dimension. And how do you do it? Using tools, working in teams, communicating effectively, and managing the whole process as though it is a project, considering the economic dimension. And finally, lifelong learning. So these are the 12 POs. They are fairly universal. They can be adopted by anybody and everybody. That is the general understanding that I have. This is an MBA program, a sample that has been taken. Now, if you see, they are also just a subset of those 12 POs that I mentioned. The first one, if you read, it is nothing but knowledge and problem solving. That is this 1, 2, and 4. The next one is foster analytical and critical thinking abilities for data-based decision making. Again, decision making comes under management. The fourth one is nothing but teamwork. The fifth one is also related to management. Only the third one appears to be a slightly different, not a subset of the, it's not a perfect subset, but there is a focus on value-based leadership. But again, that is also a subset if you consider the ethical dimension and the project. So these 12 POs are fairly universal. You can modify them if your discipline is not engineering. Computer science, you can use this MCA, MBA. Even commerce, you can use. Only thing you need to slightly modify some of them. You can tweak these POs. But generally speaking, all the POs will come from these graduate attributes. I told you they have been taken from adopted from the US-based graduate attributes, and they are fairly universal, fairly applicable everywhere. Depending upon your program, you can adopt these. You can take a subset of these. You can modify them. You can take some part of it and use it accordingly. Okay. Now, finally, coming to the program-specific attributes, right? Now, I told you that POs are fairly universal. POs are fairly universal, and PSOs are program-specific. Very, very specific and broad POs, but PSOs are very, very specific to that program. It is generally recommended that you don't have more than 2 or 3 PSOs. More than 2 or 3 PSOs is a stretch. Now, the important thing here to be stressed upon is that the program-specific outcomes, the PSOs, must highlight the thrust areas of the department and the program. So if you are running a MBA program, what are your primary specializations? Now, if you read this PSO, this PSO is of a civil engineering bachelor's program, and from the PSO, if you read this PSOs, I'll give you a minute to read these PSOs. From these PSOs, you will be able to understand that what are the thrust areas of that department. Now, this civil engineering department, it is very clear that there are 3 thrust areas: structural systems, water supply and sewage systems, transportation engineering problems. So it is very clear that this department focuses on these 3 thrust areas. So ideally you should have 2 or 3, but depending upon the thrust areas, you can even combine your thrust areas into 3 broad. If you want, you can have more than 3, but generally it is recommended that you only have 2 or 3 PSOs. But the PSOs must focus on the thrust areas of your program. So as I mentioned, if you have a BCA and an MCA, the PSO of BSCCA will be different. The PO of PEO will be definitely different. PEOs you may or may not want to use the same, depends. But PSO may also be similar because the PSO is the thrust area of the program. And many courses will map to the thrust areas of your program. Suppose you have a thrust area in your department, say if you are a computer science department, you have an image processing trust area. Obviously, your BCA and MCA will focus on many courses will map to that PSO. So it's quite likely that PSO of the MCA and the BCA may be very similar. It's quite likely because it is the same department and the PSO focuses on the thrust areas of that department, and it will be reflected both perhaps in the bachelor's program and the master's program if both are being run by the department. So that is the quick overview of the building blocks. So we started with the vision, we then went to the mission, then we went to the PEOs, the program educational outcomes, then we went into the POs, the program outcomes, and finally we have come to the PSOs or the program specific outcomes. I will close for today, the remaining I will cover on Saturday. So we have also seen in great detail what OBE is, why OBE is needed, irrespective of whatever program that you are from, irrespective of the discipline that you belong to. OBE is needed. And how do you implement the OBE? You focus on your curriculum, you focus on your teaching learning process, methodology, pedagogy, and you also focus on your examination system. OBE improves the employability. OBE is needed from a statutory perspective because in India there is a separate statutory body, there is a separate regulatory body, there is a separate accreditation body. All of this require OBE. You are mandated to go for OBE. It improves the employability of the graduates also, and in essence puts you on a trajectory towards continuous quality improvement. And the essence of OBE is say what you want, do what you say, prove what you do, and improve what you do. I will repeat that the loop. Say what you want, do what you say, prove what you do, and improve what you are doing. I'll close today's session. I think, yeah, I finished in time, 1.5 hours. I'll be happy to take any amount of questions. So in tomorrow, on Saturday, I will focus on curriculum mapping, CEOs, how to do the mapping, and so on and so forth. Over to the organizers. Jinomol ma'am, you can
yes,
either, yeah, you can focus on the moderation. Over to you. Thank you.
Okay. Participants, if you have any questions on the topic that is covered today, then you can post on your questions in the chat windows, or you can ask the questions directly to the resource speaker. Prashant sir,
Yeah.
I have a question. See, when we set in this vision statements for our organization.
Yeah, sir, you're not very audible. Little more loudly, can you speak, sir?
One second.
Yeah.
Let me adjust my mic. See, in the process of setting the vision for our organization, we will involve all our possible stakeholders in that process of finding our vision statement. But then, in the process of attaining it, if we come to know that, the vision statement that is set for our organization is not appropriate, can we revise it in the due course, or, it should not be changed because people have different perspectives on it. Once vision is set, unless otherwise it is not achieved, we should not change it. That is also another perspective which is there on vision statements. What is your take on it, sir?
Yeah, my opinion is, I already stressed in the lecture that, the vision and the mission should be highly dynamic. Does not mean that, you change it every year. Perhaps if you ask me, I would think that for the success of outcome-based education, and see, we are now today living in a highly competitive world. I'm sure all of us are, getting the heat of it.
Yes.
See, at least, I am part of Amrita. I told you we are the top private university in India in NIRF and the international ranking. But you know, that is only one side of the story. The other side is that there is tremendous pressure from all quarters, because we have competitors. We have to maintain that position that we are in. Maintaining is very, very difficult, right?
Yes.
So you have to have a lot of efforts towards quality, maintaining the quality, sustaining the quality, and improving the quality. We have to go for benchmarks. So it's a highly competitive. This is one part of the story. And the other side, there is a tremendous pressure on the faculty, on publication targets, funding targets, and all are there. So in such a process, it is inevitable that you have to go on revisiting the mission and the vision. It has to be dynamic, but does not mean that you change it every year. Like I mentioned, perhaps the vision, you have to definitely relook at the vision perhaps once in 3 to 5 years. Definitely you need to do that. You have to revisit. Whenever you are going for a board of studies overhaul, my recommendation would be, anyway you have to go for a board of studies. So if you are doing an MBA once in 2 years, you have to look at the board of studies. If you are doing a BTech, at least once in 4 years, you should look at a BTech board of studies. If you are doing an MTech once in 2 years, if you are doing an MCA once in 2 years or 3 years. So at that process, it doesn't hurt to revisit the vision and the mission. Maybe the vision may not change once in, you can revisit it once in 3 or 4 or 5 years, but vision definitely once in 2 or 3 years, you must revisit the mission. That is my take on it, because the competition is very high. The dynamics are, unfortunately, it's become a rat race.
Yes.
We cannot do anything. It's the market, as you are from a business school, the market forces have taken over. Unfortunately, now some of us may have a totally different, what should I say, a totally different philosophy that, why is it like that? But unfortunately, we are, I wanted to add, of course, this is not part of our presentation. Tomorrow I am having a talk for Rajagiri. There is a major event. I don't remember. I think it's an STTP. But, ranking and accreditation, you may like it, you may hate it, but you can't ignore it. That's a fact of the matter, is that, you cannot ignore it. You can hate it, you can like it, you can love it, you can ignore, but you cannot ignore it. The situation is like that.
Thank you, Prashant, sir, for that.
I have one question.
Yeah. Can you please introduce yourself, sir?
My name is Dr. Alatendu Sahu. I am from Birla Global University, Bhubaneswar.
Yes, sir. Tell me, sir.
So my question is, like, we have, I teach in operation management courses.
Yeah.
We have operation management specialization courses, operation management general courses. So where you cannot, like, the number of, like, the emphasis on specialization is different. The emphasis on general courses is different.
Yeah.
Will the, like, can we have the same program specific outcome for the department?
No, sir. See, when you are talking of general operations management, you are probably talking about productions and operations management.
Yeah.
You are probably talking about quality management and so on, right? They are the general courses.
Cover 2-3 papers.
Yeah, 2-3 papers will be general. Then you have a more of a specialized, electives might be there. Maybe you may, I don't know, maybe an ERP could be a highly specialized elective, a SAP certification and all. Generally, the PSO is, the PSO will be given. Suppose you are running an MBA program. Now, if you have separate minors and majors in the MBA program,
exactly.
Yeah, you can definitely have more PSOs to accommodate that accordingly. There is nothing wrong in it. If you are running a plain vanilla MBA program, that's a different story. Maybe you can stick to 3 PSOs or something. But if you are having a complicated, slightly complex MBA program where you have a dual specialization, you have a dual a major and a minor, then definitely you have to increase the number of PSOs to focus on that. There is nothing wrong in that. That is my take on that, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Prashant, sir, with regard to this PSOs, since you talked about, having any number of, PSOs as part of our MBA program, I wanted to take one clarification from your side. AICTE, not AICTE, NBA, National Board of Accreditation, in their manual, they have given us some 5 program outcomes, which we can have it as our mandatory program outcomes. In addition to that, we can have a maximum of 3 more program outcomes, which probably, we would consider it as our program specific outcomes.
Yeah.
So maximum of 8 alone is actually mandated by National Board of Accreditation. In such cases, can we?
No, I don't think there is any cap on not having more than that.
Okay.
See, as I mentioned, if you are running a very pure plain vanilla program, then there is 3 is fine. But you are having a slightly complicated setup, where there is a major and a minor, and that kind of things. There is no harm in having more PSOs, because otherwise the essence of your program will not be,
delivered. Yeah.
Taken. I'm just giving you my own example. When I was teaching in the business school, there were marketing students taking a software engineering course. I didn't understand why they were taking a software engineering course. See, generally operations specialization or computer IS, information system specialization students only take. But I found marketing students taking that course. Then I asked them, why are you doing this? It's not at all related to you. No, sir, I am planning to go into a software company. I am planning to go for marketing in a software company or that. So they had specific this thing. So these kind of peeling it down is not possible. So if there are some statutory concern, you can make 3 broad, but you can definitely, when you are going for an MBA, this thing, you can tell him very clearly, sir, my program is not the plain vanilla MBA program. There are this many minors and this many majors, this many combinations and permutations are there. So I need to have more PSOs. Very clearly you can tell him. He will not say, only the minimum thing is mentioned,
Okay, okay. One more question has been posted by one of our participants. I'll read through that for you, sir. Professor Kavita Gupta has posted this question. Should first year subject course outcomes be mapped with program specific outcomes? What is the question that is posted in the chat window?
Actually, if you are running a common DTech program, it is not needed. If you are, what I'm trying to say is that, see, suppose you are having a common first year curriculum. If you are having a bachelor's in computer science and a bachelor's in electrical engineering, both are having the same syllabus for the, what should I say, the same first year syllabus, then you need not map to the PSO. But if your first year syllabus is not common and there are some specific subjects that are specific to the department, I'll give you an example. There may be 15 courses in first year, including labs. One course is specific to the department. Then that course you have to map to the PSO. All the remaining 14 courses you need not map. I hope I have answered your question, Professor Kavita.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
It is clear now.
Yeah.
Prashant, sir, I have one more question for you. We have strategic objective assessment also, we are doing as part of our, program outcome assessments. And we have another assessment in the form of, vision assessment, missions correlation with, PEOs. We have different kind of assessments that is carried out. And if you look out all these assessments, every assessment is aimed at the future. It's looking for the future.
Sir, I lost you, sir. Your voice is slightly breaking, sir.
Am I audible? Sir, am I audible now?
Now it's a little better. Between your voice was breaking. Sorry.
Okay. We have been doing a lot of assessments as part of our outcome-based education, sir. One such outcome assessment is strategic objectives.
Yeah.
How can we differentiate this as strategic objectives from that of a vision attainment? Because both of it, it is looking forward to get it attained in the future course of time. So how would we differentiate it? Because both are focused on future attainments.
My feeling is, see, the strategic objectives will definitely have a correlation with your PEO, not with them. It will be based, your strategic objectives are nothing but, like I told you, there is a vision and a mission. Yes. Mission is actionable to statements towards the vision. Same way, strategic objectives will be actionable statements towards the mission. So the mission and the PE, the strategic objectives and the PEO will have a lot of correlation. Rather, they may be more or less the same. That's what my take is like that. So mission is a roadmap towards vision. Strategic objectives and the PEOs, program educational objectives, are roadmap towards the mission. That is what I feel.
Okay.
That is how you can differentiate.
Okay. Thank you. Participants, if you have any questions, you can ask those questions to the resource speaker.
We have 15 more minutes.
Yes. Okay. If there are no further questions, we will end up the session with this.
Okay.
Thank you,
So thank you. I
thank-
don't think there are any questions. If
Yes.
anybody wants to talk also, they can do. There is time. No, if you don't want to put out the chat, you want to ask one-to-one also, you're free to ask.
Yeah, that can also be done.
Okay, then fine.
So I would like to express my sincere gratitude and indebtedness to the resource speaker of this session, Professor Prashant S. Nair, for his interesting session on the basics of outcome-based education and its philosophy. Really, it was a very informative session, sir, and I am very sure that all our participants are really benefited out of your session. I also would like to thank all our participants for their continuous listening and patience in taking part in this FTP. Feedback links
Sir,
are.
may I ask a question?
Please do ask, madam. Please.
Yeah.
Prashant sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, like you are into Springer Journal, right?
Yeah, sort
It
of.
was, yeah. So can there be any sort of support from you in order to have a publication?
See, the madam, this Springer, I have some contact through the Computer Society of India. So let me be very honest with you, and please don't quote me off the record. So they are having a very detailed and process. So what has happened is, even though we went for a broad MOU with Computer Society of India, so I used to be the National Student Coordinator of Computer Society of India. Then I subsequently became the editor. I'm still the editor of the journal now. But they're trying to get journal indexed by its corpus through Springer and all. We have a broad MOU, but the process takes time. So every conference that we do, even though we have a broad MOU with Springer, it doesn't work out. Automatic is not happening. Every conference that we are organizing, we have to individually talk to them, send them the complete details, and they evaluate that conference on a case-to-case basis. So it's a little complicated and difficult process. So if you have
But
a...
still, if you can share the process, so
No, the
let us
process is just...
familiarize with it.
No, see, there are two ways. You just have to, there is a process with you have to just talk to the Springer person. See, what I tell the student branches is that I can only give you the person's contact details. I cannot do anything more. I cannot, they don't accept any recommendations and all, because in the interest of quality. But what
No, I'm not asking about the recommendation.
No.
Like
I understood what you're saying. But
yeah,
what I'm saying is, I just connect them to the thing, and you have to drop an email to Springer, and then you say that you are conducting a conference. You want this conference to be indexed in Springer link, and then it goes to Scopus and all. They will send you a form, and then you have to fill a form, and then you have to play ball with them. That is the process. So there is nothing that third party can do. You have to just directly talk to Springer and get it done. I think that lady's name is Suvira Srivastava. I don't know if she's still...
Can you share the contact alone?
Yeah, I can. If you remind me, I will try to look into my email, and I'll try to get the
Yeah,
email.
I have noted your email.
Yeah, drop an email to me. I will search for our email ID and send it to you. No problem. Just drop an email to me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes,
so you have to go through that whole process, and the whole 9 yards you have to go, and they will ask you for so many inputs which you have to provide.
Yes, we'll do it, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prashant sir, for your wonderful session, and participants also for your wonderful participation. So the next session will commence by sharp 2:15 p.m. And thank you one and all once again for.
Okay.
Thank you, Prashant sir. Thank you.
Okay, bye. See you.